Is Microsoft's first-party titles on the rebound? Has Starfield corrected its course? Stick around to find out our thoughts and more here on Couch Potatoes. Hello everybody and welcome to Couch Potatoes. I'm one of your hosts, Greg, and today I want to welcome you to our first discussion, the current state of Microsoft's first parties and our initial thoughts on Starfield. Just a note, we have not completed this game and we reserve no right of a completed opinion. Here at Couch Potatoes, gaming is our number one passion and we want to speak to like-minded people and build an epic community for honest and sensible conversation about our biggest hobby, video games. Which leads us into our first discussion for today, Xbox Game Pass and how Starfield impacts the brand of Microsoft's first-party titles. Game Pass, of course, is a subscription service that has always been at the front of gaming value. Despite Xbox's rocky start into the current generation of the Xbox Series timeline, everyone I knew, including myself, went straight to the PS5 when next-gen consoles hit the market after a poor era of Xbox getting back to the Xbox One. Despite this, I found myself quickly picking up the Xbox Series X to find 2 whole years of Game Pass that comes with the console. However, I found myself falling into my old habit patterns of being premature, take aim gamers, low-hanging fruit, with very little being offered in the way of all these big news headlines of Xbox buying up all the developers in an attempt to spend money to make money. Don't get me wrong, there was a couple of gems that took the sting out of my new investment, with the likes of Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, Forza Horizon 4 and plenty of third-party titles. However, PlayStation's still in my heart with banger after banger first-party releases. I found myself a bit lackluster with the Xbox brand itself. That was until Halo Infinite was due out. I remember playing Halo with my older brother and being blown away with the co-op campaign and the local split-screen multiplayer, and since it was going to be my first step back into the Halo universe, my hopes were high. Needless to say, it came with no co-op campaign. But the multiplayer rocked for a week. Then it got boring. Without any decent support through updates, it got left to burn to the embers that it is still burning to today. This seemed to set the tone for Xbox first-party titles, with the exception of Forza Horizon 4, which was amazing if you're a racing fan. Nearly 18 months passes with a fantastic showcase that has the promise of great games coming to 2023. Xbox first-party titles finally have a strong release window. Minecraft Legends was never really my jam, but Redfall looked like the game that was going to get Team Green back in the conversation. So, Redfall. April 12th, the big news came. Redfall will run at 4K, 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X. We all have those mates, right? Team Green, Team Blue, the internet is full of competition of these two. I had mates genuinely laughing at me for supporting Xbox with their big first hit missing before it's even on the shelves. So, the reviews. IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. Kinda Funny gives it a 3 out of 5. And it currently sits on Metacritic at a 56. After that came the big interview. Credit where credit's due. Phil Spencer came on a pre-booked show with Kinda Funny Xcast that was supposed to be in celebration for this game's release, only to take on all the Xbox fans' disappointment. He could have cancelled. Also credit to Kinda Funny, who, if you live under a rock, are the best news source for gaming out there, personal opinion. Decided to take this opportunity and ask all the questions we wanted answer for, and not just be hype boys. Don't get me wrong, this was done very politely, professionally, but still, this awarded them with their podcast being splashed and referenced across every major gaming journalists on the block. Some of the big quotes I want to bring your attention to are: Spencer says, Microsoft is invested in making sure Xbox owners have a great experience and feel catered for. Spencer stressed again that the console is the core of the Xbox brand and Microsoft will be continuing to focus on that despite the differing strategy. This brings us to Starfield. Microsoft now owns them and they're relying on the game to show off Xbox brand. This is the big one. Open world RPG, the size that our tiny minds can't comprehend. Universal traversal, that would be the Xbox reversal, right? 23rd of June 2023. Starfield is capped at 30 frames per second on consoles and the planet is in uproar. Whether you're playing on Xbox Series X or S, performance won't go past that threshold. Worse yet, Bethesda has confirmed this was a choice. Okay, not a great start. Hold the expectations. Review week. IGN, 7 out of 10. Kinda Funny, 4 out of 5. and it currently sits on Metacritic at an 84. There's still hope, right? I was not paying for this. For me, Game Pass should hold up, and that's what we have been waiting for. This game comes out early access for £70, give or take. Games Pass users can upgrade their version of the game for $34.99 to play it early. However, I don't know many people that did this, so like many, I took to Twitch for my appetizers. Hardly surprising, but most of the players on Twitch are playing on PC, enjoying life with 60 frames per second, so my experience was still to be figured out for myself. So, S-Day came, and I booted up this juggernaut. Despite Todd Howard's claim, this game does not run well at 30 frames per second. I experienced screen tears, motion blur, and honestly, it's worse than anything I've played of recent. I powered through, but this game does not feel polished for the Series X. Load times are noticeable, although some are hidden in well-placed animations. But this game does require a lot of fast travelling, so they become a bit noticeable. Now, this is my first Bethesda game. I've heard many rumours, I've seen enough, and I know what to expect from this type of game and this type of developer. However, this game does still feel quite clunky and buggy, but to be honest, it's not frustrating at any point. These bugs are usually quite entertaining, or just what I come to expect from my understanding of a Bethesda RPG. Characters in this game feel like you're talking to robots. They have no soul in their face and are constantly clumsy. They walk about at a pace that is either too slow or too fast compared to your own movement, and they often seem as lost as you. Speaking of lost, this game does not hold your hand. And in fact, I was so lost at times, it kind of felt like that they kick you in at the deep end, and the AI just don't have the intelligence to throw you a rubber ring. Anyway, after the bad news comes the good, right? Yes, it does. And the good news is that despite my critiques with the game, I actually had to pick them out, as I was starry-eyed straight from the intro screen. This game is stunning, as long as you don't turn the camera too fast. The worlds are varied. The characters look very detailed dolls with too much Botox, but it is still very charming. I love the decision to jump to go from first person to third person at the touch of a button. Flying a ship in this game does a good job of being challenging with a lot to think about. I certainly felt pushed to my limits with the options and buttons in the spaceship cockpit, but I'd imagine it being a lot harder in real life. And as a consequence, when you pull an aerial stunt maneuver 180 and blow your enemy to smithereens, you feel like you could fly the Millennium Falcon. Combat overall in this game is always on edge, and at no point did I feel like I had no way out. Even if I felt underpowered and I was running away with my tail between my legs, I felt like the game done a great job of not boxing you in. This game rustles the jimmies in making me feel like a pro gamer when I'd done the impossible. Voice acting, dialogue options are performed with love. Shame the facial animations didn't match. Quests are fresh and do a good job of not being chores. In fact, I haven't found one that I've disliked at all. I have barely scratched this game's story, and my favourite thing about Starfield is the community. One of the biggest smiles I get in recent gaming is opening my TikTok and seeing all the cool shit that other people have found and created, and it is the biggest example of this I've seen since Elden Ring. So where do I land on Starfield, and how does it impact my view on Microsoft's era? This game is fantastic. However, a report from GameSpot says 25% of Starfield players didn't make it past the tutorial. Make of this what you will, but at the end of the day, no one will have a definitive reason for this, but I do think it has something to do with the points that I've raised. Or maybe this game just isn't everybody's cup of tea, it's hard to say. But for me, despite my enjoyment and enthusiasm for Starfield, I can't help feel like a second-class citizen from Xbox. This game was made for PC and Xbox was not really its focus. That's fine from a Bethesda standpoint, but it's not really acceptable from an Xbox first-party title. Microsoft still hasn't given me the back scratch I've been waiting for. Is this a first world, whiny, spoiled brat opinion, or do you feel the same? Please let us know in the comment section. Like, follow and subscribe for more bollocks to come. I hope you have a spiffing day. This is Greg, and we are Couch Potatoes.